What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, episode 15. And this episode, it was definitely a shocker. That flashback, that right there was amazing, and it was definitely, rather tragic. So it starts off with Aladdin and Titus. They are still, going after Marga, and they do manage to save her. And after they rescue her, we have Duran. This guy definitely know who they are, because they are these two hotshots. And so this guy actually goes on the offensive, and we see that his weapon, it becomes like these two huge man-eating plants. And so after, Titus makes this, quick entrance with a spell of his, because we see that he made an entrance and an exit for the people here. If they want to leave, that they can. They'll no longer, be forced to be here forever. But this guy, Duran, with the plan, he actually manages to actually deal this devastating blow to Titus, because we see that this guy is losing a ton of blood with those sharp pointy vines, or what do you want to call them, inside of his body. But luckily, we have Spintus here, and he does save him. But then after he is done dealing with Titus, he actually goes after these regular people that had no business in doing this, because they were perfectly fine. They definitely weren't these people that were low on Magi, but he was tossing them into that hole. And we have Aladdin, and thank God for him. He actually used this wind spell to actually save them. But after Titus was being healed, he was saying to Aladdin that now was the time to fight, because if he doesn't fight now, then they'll be thrown out of here, and the people will definitely suffer. And just when Aladdin was actually about to get serious, we have Myers and a few other teachers that actually came in there to put a stop to this. And we learned that Duran and Myers, they're actually brother and sister. So now Myers will tell Aladdin to just stand down, because she'll hear him out, and she's also sure that the Chancellor, he'll also hear him out as well. So after they take Aladdin to him, and when we know that he definitely broke into the 5th level district, the Chancellor here, he's actually pretty lenient toward Aladdin, because not only did he not expel him, he actually invited him to have some tea. So while they were talking, Aladdin got on the defensive, so quickly, because not only does the Chancellor know that Aladdin's here on the mission, but he also knows that he was also trained, or he knows Yam Raiha, who we all know is his teacher back in Sindara. So the Chancellor, or Magot, I'm still not sure how to say his name, but he definitely knows Aladdin's true purpose. He definitely doesn't know that he's a Magi, but he does know that he came here for a reason. So now he invited him to hear this lecture. And when we go there the following day, we see that Titus and Spintus, they are there as well, and they seem perfectly fine. And we learn that the three of them, they can actually go to the 5th level district whenever they want, because the director, who I'm guessing is still the Chancellor, I guess, he can see how important Titus want to go back to Marga, so he just gave in and allowed them to go there. So here is where the episode gets kind of sad and tragic, because we have the Chancellor here, and he brought up how these non-magicians, or regular people, they are the ones who kind of rule and dominate the world, and they make the history, while the magicians here, they are just left in the background. And so then we go into his past, where we learn that he was serving this kingdom known as Mustafim. And so these magicians here, they were actually forced to serve the royal family. And because their magic wasn't developed like it is today, it came with some serious drawbacks, because we see after they had made it rain on these fields, we had the Chancellor here, he was coughing up blood, because his magic wasn't that fully developed like it is now. It's not that easy. And it was definitely awesome how he can use his blood, to use that Ryuk inside the blood to show them his past. That right there was epic. But we see that he has a daughter, and we learn about his wife as well, how she was also a magician, and because she used these spells so much, she kind of got burned out. and we see, you know, that she died from like using all her Magi. So that right there was like definitely sad. And even his daughter, she was like, even she was like questioning, you know, why were they born this way rather than being like regular people. But the Chancellor here, he was having this positive attitude about him, and it's kind of hard to believe that this guy can be so evil, because we saw back when Aladdin was talking to him, we saw some right rebuke going around him, and then around him and his daughter, it was also, you know, a lot of white rebuke. So these two are like very good people. So after they were like studying magic and they managed to develop it so much, they actually got the respect that they finally deserved, as they earned, you know, a noble title. And even though these people were like praising them for that, we have these bureaucrats here who are actually, you know, hating them and wanted the magicians here, you know, to fall. So then we go ahead a little bit and we learn that this epidemic, you know, had broke out. And these same people, you know, that were hating the popularity I'm guessing they were getting, they were like hating that, and so they spread this rumor about it was the magicians who had this failed experiment, and they caused this epidemic, you know, to spread, because the healing magic wouldn't work. So nobody really knew, you know, what was the cause and what was the cure of this, and the people were actually going crazy. And they started to fear the magicians, because we see at one point, we actually see some being killed, but the ones that did survive, they actually had, you know, their own school where they took shelter and to block out those people. So then we learned that 30 years later, a war had broke out, and these people, you know, the humans here, they were actually losing so badly that they went to people that they once feared. And even though it took them so long, the magicians, being these kind-hearted people, they actually went out there to help them. But we learned that the Goy, or the humans, they were kind of using them as shields, because we see that all the magicians, they were on the front line, and even though, you know, they did use that Borg spell for protection, it wasn't enough. And we see that Magi's daughter, she was out there as well, and she sadly died, and that right there was like a huge blow to him. And even though she was always trying to be so positive about this, on her deathbed, she kind of wondered, you know, if magic or magicians were they really born here to save these kinds of people. Because Magi was saying that, you know, all humans, or like regular people, they all have this like this lust to dominate. But for magicians, it's different, because they just have this knowledge and they always want to learn more and more, so they don't have that, which makes them so different. So rather than the godly in the world, Magi here feels that it should be magicians, you know, controlling the world, which is why he felt like this nation he had to make. Because we see, you know, while the people were actually celebrating that they won, even though, you know, none of them care about, you know, all of these dead magicians, they were just having this feast, and Magi realized that they were more like livestock rather than actual human beings. Like, that's how low they had failed to him after that, because you could just see how dark and twisted they all were to these people that just wanted to help them. So clearly, you know, like right now at least, I'm actually not feeling that bad for what Magi did. Like, this whole revolution that we know that he started, I actually don't fault him for that, because we just see how dark and twisted these humans are. So I really can't fault him for what he did, because it's possible that if things continue to go this way, then all the magicians that we see now, it's possible that they could have been killed at some point. So like I said, this episode right here, it was very dark. Like, that flashback just got to me. I definitely loved that part. But the way that he lost his wife and his only daughter, you really can't blame him for like snapping like this. So this episode, I definitely I give it a highest rating, because it got me in the feel. I'm not going to lie. Like, that right there definitely got to me. I actually felt like really bad for this guy. And now you can see that, like, all the student faces, like, at first they were kind of happy when they were seeing, you know, how close his daughter and him was, and how magicians were like slowly rising into the world. But after they all, you know, after this war and everything, you could tell that the happiness that they were feeling is now gone, and they're all kind of like shocked by this. Because I definitely was as well. Like, even reading part of the manga, I was definitely shocked by it. But as always, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.